that work for you?
Put it in there. Yeah, put
Get
it in there. That's good.
experimental results that did something for you at all? Useful at all? No? I hope so. Rory Miller, in his book Meditations on Violence, takes a great point in saying there are no damn techniques in survival. That when survival is the thing, when the assault begins and the predator's on you, and your first inclination that the fight's on is you're getting hit, there is no cognitive function that says, I'm going to do kata geish. There is no cognitive function that says, I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The people that survive a higher percentage of time, what they do is they do something general. And they all call it different things, but basically, as I read the book, what it amounted to was you take their center. So the guy is, you're sitting here doing your whatever, and the guy, who's going to be the guy? Here comes the guy. Okay. And you're in the mess, boom! And in the mess, your reaction is not to come out and try to do a damn technique. Your reaction is to come out and get him in your center. I want to own his center in whatever way, shape, or form. Because if I'm in this mess here, and I go, ah, and it just, he's got my center. Yeah, it's going to keep coming. Once the flurry starts, it won't stop. And the people that have the big survival rates, the higher percentages, and it's all percentages. You can't, you know, any given shot, bam, that might be it. The one shot could be the one that knocks you out right off the bat. And then, well, everybody gets suckered sometimes. You can't avoid that. It's the way the world is. Well, you can, you're paranoid then. You walk around. You can do that.
Stay away from me.
And then you don't have much quality of life as a paranoid guy, but you know, you could try to live that way too. But anyway, so the ones that get in the mix, the pound comes down, the center, I want to own his center. I want to be into his center and onto it and messing with it. I want to have my effect as soon as I can, basically, without resorting to an idea of technique. And you can practice this end on or just reaching up to grit somebody and I just want to own the center on contact. And this is a little thing, a lot like your entry business. It has a lot to do with that. That as we're approaching, if I have any kind of practice on it, as I'm reaching in, then I withdraw slightly. So I'm giving him a target, whatever his plan is to hit me, I give him a target and change it, and then drop onto the whatever I get a hold of. But I'm not dropping by pulling down, I'm dropping by relaxing onto it. And you can tell you, it loads him down and starts messing with it. From there, I just want more of his center. I'm going to step in and you're taking his head off or stepping on his foot. A lot of folks are getting their feet activated with foot sweeps. And I think you were doing a Kosoto that was really nice. The knife coming in, and my foot was going out from under sweep. Because the whole target, you don't care what you hit. You might be down pummeled to the ground by the time you start reacting, and you have Eric just touching that leg and saying, damn, I got to take out whatever's in front of me. So the targeting we should be aware of is from the head to the toe. It's not just this stuff. And that's what higher kata says too. You really got to account for everything from the big toe to the top of the head all the way down the back, behind, and in front. All the different places you want to lay your hands on, or your feet, or your knees, or your elbows, or whatever the hell you can get on them. And you get as much of you on it as you can, as quickly as you can, just like a very, very committed uke. It's balls to the wall. I am going to take that apart, you know. So it behooves us not to train uke to just go, that doesn't do it. You know, it behooves us not to train uke to go, you know. Uke should be getting in there to get a piece of somebody's center. If you're going to lay your hands on it, I want into his center. I want to have a piece of it. Yeah, I want to be doing something to it.
Because you know, at best he's a two-legged table.
Yeah.
And as he walks into you, he's on that side of the room, this side of the room, this side of the room. If I'm in sync with him,
yes,
And I know he's, we're exact, you know, as soon as he starts, I just see where he's loading to. He loaded to there, so I loaded him. He loaded here. Loaded here. Now I know he's there because
He's there and you're there.
I made him a one-legged guy.
Exactly.
So you load him, you take it to center from him.
That's beautiful. But you take it as soon as you touch it.
Touch, take
You
it.
can't, we can't get into the game where we touch them and hang around a while and then try to get it. That, and judo people are the worst. Hajime! Grips.
Got your grip.
Dance, 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 throw. I mean, they do it all the time. Why the hell isn't it grip?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is it not throw off the grip? Should be. Survival says it has to be. Not a game. The game says, okay, I'm going to do my strategy, I'm going to line up on him and take my shot. And they're building a whole strategic thing about a game. But man, the moment of contact is the moment of truth. And if you can predict it and see it coming, hallelujah. You got a lot more tools in the toolbox to work with. But when the world contracts, you have very few tools. And they're uke's tools primarily. And once you get past the uke phase and you're past the survival problem, now you can get back into tori. Now you can be Mr. Cool again. Great! Breathe a sigh of relief. Now you can take his wrist and bust it. You can take the arm off. You can whatever. Cool. But the initial thing tends to be overwhelming. Tends to be a flurry and a barrage and overwhelm, and the adrenaline is what you're really fighting. The adrenaline is what will cause everything to come to a screeching halt. You have a certain threshold up to that raises your capacity, raises your awareness, keeps everything sharp, makes everything cooler. And then once it clicks over and you get a little too much adrenaline, your capacity to survive and do everything else goes down. You start losing capacity to react. And you're more playing dead and hoping the predator will think you're dead and come back and eat you later. And that's what your body's trying to do for you. It's trying to keep you alive by playing dead. So it locks you down. You freeze up. Your eyes glaze over. You start feeling pain. You start blacking out. Fine motor control goes away. If you move at all, it's the same dumb movement. And things just go all haywire. Well, that's great if a tiger's got you. Because it'll say, oh, well, I got that. I'm doing something else now. And come back and get this later. And if you have not been completely killed, you can come out of it and sneak away. Well, good. You survive. That's what the adrenaline reflex in those scenarios is about. But with a human predator, not necessarily a good idea. You know? Not necessarily what's going to do it for you. Cool? So you have to train with the adrenaline. You have to live in the adrenaline, and you have to mediate your reactions over a long series of incremental stages so that you can stay in the range that's still useful to you. So that you can condition yourself to stay in that range and not jump into insanity. Cool? Cool. And randori is a lot of it. Because randori is nothing if it is not overwhelming. It has to overwhelm you to start at it. And you can get in the deep end of the pool right off the bat, or you can just be overwhelmed by the chaos of it incrementally. I think the incremental thing is helpful, but you know, you might like the deep end of the pool. It's okay too. So, how about some randori punch? That sound good? Cool? Sure. Anything else anybody want to add? Because I'm yammering too much. Talk, talk, talk. Like Eric says, we blather on in this particular system. And indeed we do. You're right. We'll do like the Shiba crowd. What do they say? Hey! Hey! Okay, there we go. Here's the lesson. Hey! I'm going to turn the bell on so we can all change on the